Welcome to my grassroots yoga channel, and we're going to do sunset yin. We're here at Yin Park. So we're going to go ahead and get started with a little grounding on the mat. We're just going to come to either hero's pose, or you can come to seated meditation, whichever is most comfortable in your body. We're just going to take a few deep breaths in here. Take a breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and just sigh it all out. Take a deep breath in here. Open your mouth and sigh it out. We're going to begin our yin practice tonight. So when we practice yin, we're going to be holding the poses from anywhere to 3 to 5 minutes. And you want to feel the edge in your body of the certain poses that we do, where we're going to be focusing on the pose in the body. But you do not want pain. You do not want numbness. You do want a sensation level of a 3 to 5 on a scale of 0 to 10. So please keep that in mind as we're moving through the yin poses. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and come to our first yin pose tonight. So we're going to start in child's pose. So we're going to bring our knees as wide as the mat and our big toes to touch. Draw your hips back to your heels. And we're just going to bring our arms out long in front of us on the mat. And maybe you can bring your forehead to the mat. Maybe you can bring your hands behind you. You want to grab your feet. Or just let your hands fall to the side. Whatever's most comfortable for you here in child's pose. Whatever gives you the best stretch. Child's pose is going to be helping us in our areas of our inner groin, outer hips, and our lower back. If your arms are out long, it's also a good stretch for your shoulders. The shoulder blades behind your back there, and even inside your shoulders. When we do yin, what we're doing is we are stretching out in certain areas. We are stretching out connective tissue. And in other areas, we're compressing connective tissue. Right now, we're compressing the connective tissue in the front of our hips, our hip flexors. And at the same time, we're stretching out our inner groin and our lower back, our outer hips. We're also stretching out our shoulders here. So as we stretch and compress our connective tissues, when we release from the pose, the hyaluronic acid that bathes our connective tissues and keeps it supple and youthful, it will flood these areas when we come out of the pose. Hyaluronic acid is what keeps us young, and connective tissue is what connects everything in the body together. It connects the muscles and the joints and the ligaments. There's even connective tissue around our cells. So flooding these areas with the hyaluron when we come out of the poses keeps us very youthful and also very flexible. In this way, yin is often referred to as the fountain of youth. Remember, you don't want to feel any pain here. You want to feel the edge and the places that we're focusing on in our inner groin, in our outer hips, our hip flexors, and our lower back. You want to feel a sensation level no more than a 5 on a scale of 0 to 10. Child's pose is a gentle opener that we can begin our yin. We're going to very slowly come out of this pose, and we're going to move slow, like you're moving through honey. All the tissues now are very, very tender, so we have to be very slow when we come out of our yin pose. The next pose that we're going to be coming into is we're going to come onto our bellies. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. So we're going to lie down on our bellies, and your legs are out long on the mat, and you want to bring your elbows under your shoulders and bring your fingers spread out towards the top of the mat. Lift up a little bit in your chest and roll your shoulders down your back. You're going to feel this Sphinx pose. You're going to feel in your lower back primarily. You might feel it in your shoulders as we sit in the pose. They say a Sphinx a day keeps the doctor away. Our lower backs take so much pressure, compression, and stress every day through bending and walking, lifting, sitting. This is such a wonderful pose to help release the tension in your lower back and to nourish the connective tissue of the lower spine. You can roll your shoulders down your back a little. If you're uncomfortable, you can bring your hands under your chin. If you have a block, you can bring a block under your chin and rest your chin on a block. For this practice, you will need a block. We are going to do one of the poses with a block. Yin is a time to slow down. Yin is a segue into meditation. Yin slows down the brain waves from the alpha to delta. It's a very wonderful medicinal part for your body and your mind. All the stress that we're constantly under in this day and age, Yin is a much needed medicine for our bodies and our minds and our spirits. Anytime you need to come out of the pose, if you're uncomfortable or if you feel pain, you can come out of any pose that you need to. You can come in a prone shavasana or even lie on your back for a shavasana. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our arms in front of us, and you're going to cross the right arm over the left, and you're going to bend at your elbows. We're going to do eagle arms here. So bring your right hand around to the front of your left palm, and you can lift up a little here and maybe just bend your arms a little. We're going to sit in this pose for a minute. This is a good shoulder release. So eagle arms in Sphinx pose, so we can get some shoulder work in. If you want, if it's comfortable, you can even bring your feet up to the ceiling, the sky, if it feels comfortable to do that. If not, you can just leave your legs long on the mat. We're going to bring our arms, we're going to uncross our arms very gently and slowly. And now we're going to bring our arms out in front of us. And you're going to bring the left arm to cross over top of the right at the elbow. And we're going to bring our palms around to face each other. Just go ahead and maybe bring your arms out a little longer to get a nice stretch in your shoulders. You may have some uncomfortability in some of the poses. That's natural and normal, but pain is not. If you become uncomfortable, see if you can't sit in that feeling and just maybe breathe into where it is uncomfortable. Send breath there. Yin is a good time for introspection, going into yourself, inside of yourself. See if you can't focus now on what's going on inside of you, inside of your body. All right, we're going to go ahead and uncross our arms very, very, very slowly. And we're going to come to lie on the mat. So you want your arms by your side. And your cheek can come to the left or the right, whichever's your favorite cheek. Just let your arms by your side with your palms facing upward. Just going to rest here for a moment. If you want, you can bring your feet up to the ceiling. Bend your knees. Maybe windshield washer. A little bit side to side. We're going to go ahead and bring our feet back to the mat. I'm going to push up to tabletop. We're going to come on up to tabletop. The next pose we're going to come into is dragon. So come to tabletop, and we're going to step our right foot up on the mat. Bring our right foot up. And we're going to let our left leg come down long on the mat with the foot, the top of your foot pressing into the mat, the left foot. And in dragon, you can use your block if you want. You can place your palms on the mat, or if you want your block, you can bring your forearms to the mat or your forearms to the block. If you have the flexibility, if it's comfortable and safe in your body. Or you can just stay up on your palms. This is a beautiful hip opener. It works our hip flexor in the left hip, and it works our right outer hip and our right inner groin. Again, if you start to feel uncomfortable, just see if you can sit with that uncomfortable feeling, and see if you can't focus on your breath. The samskaras in yogic teaching are impressions on our souls that are created by our thoughts. So if you expose your mind to constant thoughts of anger or resentment, this can build up as anger samskaras, impressions on our souls. And this can lead to occasions for anger throughout your daily life. It can also lead to bad temperament. When you have these thoughts, remember that they will create impressions on your soul. Your mind and your heart work in unison, and everything you think and everything you feel is felt by every cell in your body. That's why constant stress, constant anger can lead to actual physical health problems. All right, we're going to bring that right knee back to meet the left. And before we move into dragon on the left, we're going to do some hip circles here. So we'll do 3 one way, nice and slow. And remember, in yin, when you're moving out of the pose or moving your hips, whatever you're doing, you're moving through honey very, very slowly, because the tissues are fragile when we come out of the poses. We're going to go the opposite way now 3 times. We're going to go ahead and come back to tabletop now. And let's get into dragon on the left. So we're going to bring our left foot up and just scooch that right leg down long, not as long as you can feel it, until you get the feeling, the edge, level 3 to 5 on a scale of 0 to 10. Remember, you don't want to feel the pain. You just want to feel the edge. And once you feel the edge, after you find the edge, see if you can find in the pose stillness. Focus on your breathing. You can say to yourself, I breathe in, I breathe out. After you find the edge and find the stillness, you just let time and gravity do the work of healing the body. And if you feel like you can go deeper into the pose, then you can do that as well. The impressions on our souls that are created by our thoughts are the samskaras. So when you feel thoughts of anger or resentment, see if you can just let the thought go. Accept the thought and just let it go. And then replace that thought with something that you're grateful for. Your healthy body, being alive, your loved ones. And then those thoughts, those samskaras will create positive impressions on our souls. And in this way we can bring about inner peace. We're going to very gently come out of that pose. And we're going to bring that gently and slowly, bring that left knee back to meet the right. And we're going to do 3 hip circles here. If ever you need to come into child's pose for a break, you can do that at any time. Or like I said, you can come into a prone shavasana or supine shavasana, so on your back or on your stomach. We're going to do 3 hip circles the other way. We're going to go ahead and come to a seat here. And the next pose we're going to come into is deer. So we're going to leave the left shin long with the long edge of the mat. And you're going to bring your right leg out in front of you with your right shin to match the short end of the top of the mat. This is deer pose. On an inhale, you can lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, we're just going to gently fold forward over our right shin until you feel the edge. Yin reverses the damage that stress, anxiety, or even if you're an athlete and you're constantly putting stress on your body, physical stress, emotional stress, and mental stress, it reverses the effects of that over time. If you practice a couple times a week, it's very healing. We have a sympathetic nervous system. We have a central nervous system, which is our brain and our spinal cord. And then we have other part of our nervous system, which is the nerves that go out from the brain and spinal cord. And one of the parts of the nervous system that is the nerves is called the sympathetic nervous system. The other part is called the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system kicks in when we feel threatened or when we're constantly on the go. It's called fight or flight. So when you're constantly stressed and you're constantly in fight or flight, it leaves so much harm and damage in your cells, in your body, in your heart, in your mind. And there's another part of that nervous system that are the nerves in the body, and it's called the parasympathetic nervous system. That sympathetic nervous system takes care of what we call rest and digest. And as we sit in the yin poses, and we slow down our brain waves, we override the sympathetic nervous system and we stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. We have about another 30 seconds or so in this pose. Very slowly and gently, we're going to come up out of that pose. And we're going to go ahead and do that on the other side, but first we're going to bring our legs out long in front of us. And we're just going to feel the difference here in the right leg and the left. The right leg may feel a little bit more alive. You may feel tingly or coolness or even warmth. All right, we're going to get ready to do that on the other side. So we're going to bring our right shin to match the long end of the mat. And we're going to bring our left shin in front of us to match the smaller edge, the top of the mat. On an inhale, we're going to go ahead and sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, we're going to fold forward over our shin here as far as you need to feel the edge. Maybe you can come all the way to the mat. I like to sometimes stack my fists on top of each other and just rest my forehead on my fists until my body opens up enough for me to rest my forehead on the mat. As you slow down your brain waves and stimulate the healing sympathetic nervous system in your body, the parasympathetic nervous system in your body. See what is happening in your mind. If your mind starts to wander, bring it back to the here and now, to the present moment. And that can often be done by focusing on your breath. I breathe in, I breathe out. Focusing on the breath is one of the most ancient meditation techniques. And as we slow down our brain waves. And we enter a phase of healing. little under a minute left in this side. These are deep hip openers, the deer, and the one we did before it, the dragon. Your hips are part of some of the largest muscles in your body, and your hips therefore hold on to trauma, past trauma, and all the stress, physical, emotional, mental stress, because our cells and our muscles feel what we feel. And these are wonderful hip openers to release and let go of stress and trauma. We're going to very gently and slowly come up out of that pose. And nice and slow, like you're moving through honey, in very slow time, because our tissues are fragile and gentle right now, and all that hyaluronic acid is flooding the areas. Going to bring your legs out long, and we're going to come into, this time, caterpillar. Sunset yin in the park, in nature, surrounded by trees. On our exhale, we're just going to hinge forward here, hinge at our hips, and we're just going to hinge until you feel this in the back of your legs, the calves, the bottoms of your feet, your lower back. So caterpillar stretches all the connective tissue on the entire back sides of our bodies. You want to relax your shoulders here, your head and your neck. Just allow your body to gently and safely open up to time and gravity as you heal from the inside out. Sometimes it's hard to sit in stillness. Practicing yin can help us to learn to be still. Your mind wanders, bring it back to where you're at, what you're feeling in your body, and to your breath. Yin is a wonderful practice to do right before bed. To relieve yourself from all the stresses of the day, all the hustle and the bustle. all the worry. Wind will slow you down so that you can get a peaceful, restful night's sleep. So this is a really good practice to do right before you go to bed. And very gently, one vertebrae at a time, we're going to come up out of caterpillar. And we're going to meet on our backs. The next pose we're going to be coming into is supported bridge. So you need to have a block for this. We're going to lie on our backs. And when we come to our backs, we're going to bring our knees up and our feet are hip width distance apart. It's best to start at the lowest level with the block. If you are advanced in yin, you can come to this level, the second highest level, or even the highest level. But it's safest to just start with the lowest level. We're going to lift up our hips and place that block underneath our sacrum here, our lower spine and our hips. Just feel this so that it is just at that level 5, between 3 and 5. If you feel like you need a little more, you can bring that block up, but no pain. Don't want pain in yin. This is all about healing. You can stay here, or if you want, we can bring our left leg out long. Just feel that in your hip flexor, in the front of your left hip there. Arms at your side if that feels comfortable. We're going to bring that left foot back, and if you did have your left leg out long, if you'd like, you could stay where you're at, but bring that left foot back if it was out long. And now we're going to bring that right leg out long. Just sit here for a moment, for a minute, and let that right hip flexor get some love here, lower spine, and supported bridge. While we're in supported bridge, it's a good heart opener. See if you can focus on where your heart is located in your body. Feel it in the front of your chest and feel in the back of your chest. And just focus on your heart. And as you focus on your heart, See if you can feel some love in your heart. Think of something or someone you love, and then let that feeling just radiate out of your heart to all the areas in your body, all your cells, all your organs and your muscles and your tissues. Just let it go everywhere, flow through your body. I'm going to bring that right leg up now. And just for the last moment, you can stay up here. If you want to challenge yourself and if you feel you need a little bit more, you can bring the block up a level higher. I'm going to bring both legs out for the last moment, the last minute here. Just let both of the legs come out long. Or if that's too much for you, keep your knees bent and your feet hip width distance apart. Your arms at your side. And just feel your heart. Feel that love in your heart. We're going to bring both of our legs back up if they're down long, and your feet to the mat. And we're going to very gently, just gently bring that block out from underneath you and set it to the side. Oh, just feel that in your lower back. Oh, that's so healing and so good for our lower back. The next pose we're going to do is reclining butterfly. So we're going to bring our feet together, and we're just going to let our knees fall out. You can have your hands on your groin, inner groin at your outer side. You even want to bring them up above your head, whatever's most comfortable for you. Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclining butterfly, focuses on opening up the tissues here in our inner groin and also our outer hips, and also very good for our lower back. Just let your body open up naturally here to time and gravity as the knees slowly start to come closer to the ground. holding on to something. See if you can't let it go. Allow people and things to be just as they are. Go ahead and bring your knees back. And this time we're going to give ourselves a hug here. So bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Maybe bring your forehead to your knees. If you'd like, you can do some knee circles. So bring your knees out and then bring them back in. Knee circles, open up your hips here. Nice and slow. One more, nice and slow. And then we're going to bring our knees back into our chest. And the next pose we're going to do is waterfall. So bring your feet up to the sky. You can bring your hands under your hips if that feels comfortable. So waterfall drains all the toxins out of the body because of the largest muscles that are in our legs and our hips, our glutes. This drains all those toxins in our calves. And then when we are done with yin, we want to drink a lot of water to flush all those toxins out of the body. Waterfall is wonderful for anxiety. You can do this with your legs up the wall even. If you're at home, you can put your legs up the wall. You can be in waterfall for as long as 10 minutes. This is a good pose to do right before bedtime. Good for your blood pressure. This is a wonderful pose to do anytime. See if you can just allow your mind to do nothing for the next minute. Just allow yourself, your mind and your body, just allow yourself to be. About another 30 seconds in this pose. We're going to bring our knees into our chest and give ourselves another hug here. And then we're going to bring our legs out long on the mat for our final resting pose, Shavasana. Just take this moment here to absorb all the fresh, clear energy and oxygen just created in your body, all the healing energy, all the stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system, and all the delta waves in the brain. head side to side. Bring our feet to the mat. We'll rock and roll ourselves up. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope this practice brings you peace and happiness and joy. May you be well, may you be loved, may you be happy. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe. And until next time on the mat, namaste. Hi. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.